to license it.
Meep, meep.
Hi everybody, and a warm welcome to Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a cute little 1 to 64 scale Matchbox Fiat 1500, number 56. This is a popular model, and another one of those that rekindle childhood memories for me. There's supposed to be detachable luggage on the roof, but sadly mine is detached. It's MIA. But inexplicably, the little tow hook is still intact, and that's rare. I've got two of these models, as you could see, so for the first time ever, if I need spare parts, I've got some in-house inventory. Into the bench vise, and there's just one rivet in the back holding this one together. I use a number 4 drill, and it's a plastic base. It doesn't take too much to open these up. I'm getting a little more familiar with the differences between Matchbox and Corgi and Hot Wheels, and I really like the little Matchbox cars. These are original colors with the turquoise and the red interior. Windshield is held in by a center rivet, and that's going to require another little bit of careful drilling. Very light, so I don't go through the roof or my finger. And I pop a flathead screwdriver in there just for a gentle nudge. And out it comes. Back into the bench vise, and I drill out the single post with a number 1 drill bit. The yellow tape just as a depth gauge, keeps me from going too deep. And that's the right size for an M2 button head screw that I use when it's time to put it all back together. A drop of oil before I put the tapping tool in. I'm creating new threads here. And as always, a little test at this stage to see if the screw fits before the painting and the final detail work. Looks good. I'm going to put this casting into the Power Abbeiser, that's German for paint stripper. And this is a gel, it's not one of those nice citrus smelling ones. This is really toxic, so I'm masked up here for safety. Gloves might be a good idea too, but I'm careful with this stuff. Tops go back on, and we'll let that do its work while I wash up these parts. The Fiat 1300 and the Fiat 1500 were manufactured by Fiat from 1961 to 1967. And in the Italian market, the 1300 was replaced by the Fiat 124 in 1966, and the 1500 that we have here was replaced by the Fiat 125 a year later. In total, 1.9 million cars were produced worldwide. I live in Switzerland, and Italy is our neighbor to the south, and you still see the occasional 1500 on the road today, carefully restored. It was super popular and reliable, and that's what makes this restoration fun today. Put a little polish on the windshield with a Q-tip and buff that up, and it really wasn't in bad shape to start with, so that's a satisfactory clean for a 50-year-old windshield. Okay, I had taken a peek at the stripping process when it was in my little cup there, and it hadn't made much progress, so I went ahead and dropped it right back into the paint stripping gel jar and left it for another 15 or 20 minutes, and this is a tough old paint job here. It's not bubbled up, but it's loosened up, and you'll see that it's going to take a little bit more scrubbing than normal to get it up. That's alright, every car is different, and that's a testament to the quality of these 50-year-old toys built to last. So I'll give that a little more attention with the bristle brush, some hot soapy water, and it cleans up pretty good, but you always need a little bit of wire brush action. My Dremel is still on the fritz while this coronavirus lockdown is on. I can't get to the store, so 6 or 7 cars now I've been using the old brass brush and the fine steel wool, and that's just exactly the same results. And you know what, when I get my Dremel fixed up, I might just do this on occasion to keep the old school skills alive. These wire brushes aren't really abrasive, so they're not scratching. It's just taking off some residual paint. And this is super fine steel wool with a little bit of luster back on that bare metal. Not bad. I give it an inspection at this point and see if there are any imperfections in the casting or pits or scratches. So clean up that steel wool and we'll have a closer look. And I did notice on this back pillar a little extra deep scratch. So some fine files come out, and that didn't take too much effort, just attention to detail. Don't want that to show through the finished paint job after all the work that you put into one of these, so a couple of the edges had burrs on them. That couldn't have been more than 2 minutes attention with the files. And I feel better that that's done. And just to make sure it's super smooth, there's some 600 grit wet dry sandpaper on the same pillar. Yeah, that's good. A couple of corners always need attention with a sharp tool. And any time you spend here at this stage pays off in the end. So, some dark gray primer went on and it's into the airbrushing booth. And I decided not to go with the original turquoise that you see in the picture and this model started with, but you see down at the bottom, 1968 gift set, red interior. So I'm going with that, not breaking tradition. And we'll let that set up. Have a heat lamp over it. It's a cute little car, isn't it? Okay, this is the second time I've experimented with the floor polish finish because I'm all out of clear coat and many other supplies during these lockdown days, so I'm going to make do with what I've got. And I've seen a couple of other restorers do this on YouTube. I did it on my last car and I was very happy with the result, so as a stopgap measure, I think that'll be fine. But back to clear coat when I'm able to get back to the stores. Front grille is going to get chromed. And a touch on the axle heads, keeping the original tires on this one because they were in spectacular condition. Here are the few parts laid out and ready for reassembly, which is a simple process in this case. The original red interior has a little post on the bottom and the plastic suspension pops on there. Line up the hole in the back with the base. Windshield into the body and the body back onto the base, and it's a paint by numbers reassembly. Everything went very well with this one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd sure be happy if you give it a thumbs up and become a new subscriber to Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers. And hit the notification bell so you'll be aware of all the new content that gets uploaded, which is pretty regularly, especially during these coronavirus lockdown days. And there's our little Fiat 1500. That's cute. That's the 1968 red. There's only one thing missing. I don't have the plastic luggage to go on the top. Well, what do? You make your own. You can't go on a family holiday without the luggage on the roof rack. So that's what I did. Just for fun. You can order these on eBay, of course, but I'd have to wait 3 weeks to get it, and I'll show you in 1 minute how I did it myself, if you're interested. I figured I'll use a thin piece of cardboard and glue a couple of them together to get a basic suitcase shape. Nothing high-tech about this. And of course, if you're going to make custom luggage, you go Louis Vuitton. I called Louis Vuitton for permission to do this, and they didn't return my call. So I went ahead with this. Cut up my leather, laid out the strips, just like in the Fiat factory. It's basically like wrapping the world's tiniest birthday gift. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's not wrapping gifts. So put it on a 1:64 scale and you can imagine that's intricate. But having fun with this little extra bit, and there you go. Custom Louis Vuitton travel luggage. Here's what we started with this morning. And there's what I finished with tonight. Fresh paint job, refurbished wheels, and custom luggage. Okay, kids, let's go. I hope you had fun watching the video today. It's coffee time.